You guys are well. My name is Abimano, as you guys all can see, and today I'm going to present memory management in Linux.
So your topic is memory management in Linux. Okay.
Yeah, my topic today is memory management in Linux. So, for the introduction, first of all, we have to understand what memory management is. As we all know, memory management is an essential aspect to all OS. Okay? Without memory, an OS cannot literally function properly. Because when we start, the OS itself needs a space of storage whereby it can be stored in order to function. All right? And then, second of all, in Linux, the memory management system is responsible for managing the allocations, deallocation, and sharing of the memory resources among different processes. So, here, what we mean is in memory, we have something called allocation. Allocation is the process of directing something or giving a position, like file or data, we can say, where do you want to store it? That is something that's responsible for what? That is responsible and managed by what? Memory. Another thing is deallocation. Deallocation is basically deleting. And then finally, sharing of memory. As you guys know, sharing is the process of what? Dividing the memory or like giving from one place to another. Okay? In the presentation, we will discuss the various components of memory management in Linux. First of all, before we go anywhere, we have different types of memory in Linux. And for some of it, we have include virtual memory, page tables, page replacement, shared memory, and memory management tools. Those are the things I'll be discussing. So to start with, we're going to start with virtual memory. Linux, like most modern operating systems, uses a technique called virtual memory to manage physical memory resources. So what this means is we use virtual storage. I think you guys know what virtual storage is, right? Types of virtual storage is maybe like cloud storage. Yeah, cloud storage is an example of virtual storage. Virtual storage is basically storage that is not physically available. That's what we mean by this. Virtual memory allows the operating systems to allocate more memory than physical available by using a combination of RAM and hard disk spaces. I think that's self-explanatory. And then in Linux, the virtual memory is where different processes share same memory storage. Do you understand? Like I have my own data, he has his own data, he has his own data, and then we all bring it and put it in one place. You understand? That's basically what it means. This can be useful for inter-process communications and for optimization resource usage. So I think it's self-explanatory, right? In Linux, shared memory is implemented using the mmap, which is system call. And then we have something called memory management tools. Linux provides several tools for monitoring and managing memory usage. The most common used tool in the top command, which displays information about memory usage and CPU usage for each process. Other tools include the free command, which displays information about available memory and swap space, and the vmstart command, which displays information about memory usage and virtual memory activities. So basically, in conclusion, memory management is a critical component of any operating system, and Linux is no exception. The virtual memory system page tools, page replacement, shared memory, and memory management tools are all important components of a system memory management system. Understanding these components is essential for optimizing system performance and avoiding memory-related issues.
Memory management in Linux. I think when we are talking about memory, my colleague has illustrated a lot of things about memory in specific. If we are talking about memory, my colleague has already illustrated a lot of things about memory, which means the definition and many other things. And by the way, I'm Michael Henry. Department of Computer Sciences. That is my ID up there, and today I'm presenting memory management in Linux. And our course of study is Unix programming. Okay, memory management in Linux is actually different from many other operating systems because Linux has this way of managing memory where like it allocate memory for the operating system differently than the applications. You know, like the different apps which are going to run are actually using different memory compared to like the memory which the operating system is using. So let's get started into what actually we have today. So for the content, I'm going to cover a few of these, which is introduction, memory management scheme, virtual memory, which actually my colleague has already illustrated a lot about, memory system bug, memory optimization, garbage collection, and then I will conclude. So let's get started. In introduction part, as my colleague illustrated earlier, memory is a crucial thing when it comes to operating systems. And not only operating system, most of these machines which are running out there, most of them need space in order to store those information that they're actually working with. Like there's literally nothing out there which like computer or anything that electronic based can be able to operate without memory. So that's why like memory management is a crucial thing when it comes to electronics in general because it gives them that ability to be able like to store data and at the same time to use it. But when we talk about Linux in particular, like Linux treat memory differently. Okay, and I'm quite sure is only Unix operating systems are the only operating system who can be able like to use memory which are present and the memory which are not there, which means the virtual memory as my colleague illustrated earlier, focusing to it. First of all, virtual memory protections ensures that each process has its virtual address space, and which is like isolated from the other processes. This isolation ensures that like the process cannot access another process memory space. Like prevent, this is just like authorization when you have ever worked with applications, you know. Linux has this authorization way of things where it doesn't allow the, let me say, the program from the other to overlap the other program. And this authorization is bring about by using this virtual memory protection. And if you have ever worked with Linux, Linux has this way, it's not only Linux specific, but all the Unix system, even Mac can do that. If you want to install something from online, like you're installing a program, it first asks for your whatever, asks for permission, right? It asks for permission, you have to first enter your password and all this kind of stuff. The reason is because like that is specific memory location which is going to be allocated to that thing is going to be secured for that specific thing. No overlap or nothing will happen between that. And the second one, the second solution to this problem is kernel address space separation. And this is like is used to separate a kernel memory from like user memory space to ensure that the kernel cannot be tampered with or by the other application, you know, and by the user applications. And actually here, if you are even to see it from, like, let me say if you are using Windows as we are using Windows. In Windows, we have like these user specific applications or maybe user specific programs, which sometimes if you are trying to reset your application, it will say, okay, do you want to change your user details and everything? And it is not like it is going to change everything that you have in the computer. No, it is talking about the specific things that you have like installed in a specific drive. That works also similar when it comes to the case of Mac or Linux, which are all Unix operating systems. So when it comes to that, like, okay, there things which are going to be in the user like user based memory are all are going to be kept separate, okay, from the things which are going to be in the general kernel memory. And this solution here is actually going to avoid things like memory system bugs from occurring because yeah, many things cause that problem. But yeah, if you separate those things, then at least like these two programs are completely different and it will avoid overlapping at the same time. Just like what I was explaining in virtual memory protection, it will avoid things like overlapping and all this kind of stuff. When it comes to usage of memory in Linux, first of all, like we need to understand what is the meaning of this term memory semantics. Yeah. Okay. First, we need to understand what is the meaning of this word memory semantics. They are used like to ensure programs are using memory correctly and to prevent memory-related errors. Like various memory semantics are used in Linux or Unix systems to include read-only memories, or let me say like shared memories as we illustrated earlier, and memory mapping file, which actually we talked about earlier, you see. And if you can see from this illustration, which means without memory semantics in Unix, there is completely nothing, you know. With memory semantics, you can be able to manage your memory and to make sure that it works correctly. And that is majorly the reason of memory semantics. And if anyone like try to ask you, okay, what is use of memory semantics in Linux or Unix or maybe Mac, you have to just tell him that exact definition. Okay, I'm quite sure terms like read-only memory, you guys are already versed in it and you understand exactly what that means. So let's talk about garbage collection. What are the garbage collections? Okay, garbage collection is used to reclaim memory that is no longer in use. Under like semantic garbage collection is used to ensure that resources are not released prematurely, preventing errors caused by invalid memory access. At many times, sometimes we found ourselves using memories, but there, I don't know if you have ever checked in your Windows, there are those spaces occupied by memory, but it's called what? Temporary files.
So today's our topic is Linux networking commands, and presented to MD Tariqul Islam sir, lecturer, Department of CSE, University of Global Village, Borishal. Presented by Kaji Rahatul Islam Tushar, ID 11901005, Department of CSE, University of Global Village, Borishal.
And I am Kamrunhar Kanchi, ID 11901009, Department of CSE, University of Global Village.
Today's our topic is Linux networking commands, and at first we know that what is Linux. Linux is a family of open source Unix like operating system. It's a we know that Unix is a open source. That's Linux is totally implemented by Unix, and this Unix and operating in Linux kernel, and this kernel is first released September 17, 1991.
Okay, Linux is one of the most popular operating system in the world. It is the popular version of Unix operating system, and it is open source. We know that it is open source, and its source code is free for and always available. Some of Linux networking comment are below here. So see, if config, dmas, netstate, route, trace route, and ping. In config, because to determine an interface has been recognized and configuration on a system, then to initially assign an IP address to an interface, then to bring an interface up or down.
Okay, we know that when we use any syntax, then we can use any option. That means you say that -a, when we are want to display information for all network interface, then we just input -a and as well syntax. And when -s we are uses that display shortlisted command. When identical command for we just see shortlisted, then we just use -s. And when we are use -v, various mode display additional information, certain error condition, we see all of that this option. And when we see that up, this flag as the interface to activate to is temporarily the separation address is assigned to the interface. And ARP, this enable or disable if the prefix is specified when there's this use ARP protocol on this interface. And a promise is the enable or disable kind of ARP measurement side of the prefix, and the processors mode of the interface. If processor mode of enable or packet when transfer any destination our data, the network will be received by the interface.
Okay, DMS. What is DMS? DMS is a comment on most Unix-like operating system DMAS is basically display message comment. The output include message produced by the device driver. Okay, this syntax is here. DMS has various type of option. There are some option are attached in this slide. Clear means clear the ring buffer. Read clear. Clear the ring buffer contents after pinging among console off and console on. So console on refers to enable printing message to the console, and console off means it's a disable printing message to the console. Then facility list restrict output to define a list of facilities. For supported facilities, see help others. Then minus h is help, print a help text or exist.
Okay, netstat. Netstat's kind of network statistics. That the netstat command is a command found almost all commanded is a same environment. It's a very common thing when we just want all of commands shortlisted. Then we use netstat statistics of the our network, and this syntax we see that here. And netstat also others comments same to any option. That means we see that minus a netstat syntax minus a option when we are use that is switch displays active TCP connection. We know this what is TCP, and the TCP connection with the listening stack as well as UDP ports that are the being listened to. And minus b, the restat switch is very similar to the minus 0 switch listed below, but instead of displaying the PID, will display the process of actual name. And last of all, we see minus a. This switch displays active TCP connection, and TCP connection with the listening state as well as UDP ports that are being listened to.
Okay.
Okay, this ping is all of the topest and usual commands for Linux. It's developed by Michael Morse in 1983. The system administration command mainly ping, because of when we just remotely handle our network, and this responding ping is instead to use in networking testing, measurement, management, and because the load of it can impose of the network, it unwise to use ping during normal operation for the automated step. That's why ping is a very essential commands for Unix or Linux.
That route is another networking comment in Linux. So the route comment is the interface used to access the Linux kernel. A route comment in Linux is used when you want to work with the IP kernel, IP or kernel routing table. That means it is used for showing or update the IP kernel routing table. This
And tests are out. Tests out is a network diagnostic method. It's a kind of medical diagnostic type, because of when we are sending any data our destination, then this tests out all of them chasing this because of its time travel, its networking, it's how much packet we are sending our destination point, all of the measurement this working this test out command. And we know also that this test out also using all over operating system by Windows or Linux or Mac or BSD. All our types of operating system are uses here, and that syntax here.
trace route has various types of option. There are some option is here. Please see. Use -4 means use IP version 4, and -6 means IP version 6. You -8 means do not fragment packet. G gate means route the packet through rate. N means do not resolve IP address to their domain names. Okay.
Okay, we just cover some of the commands for Linux, just simple or just a short time. So just basic commands we are recover here, and
Okay, in conclusion, we have tried to share some information about networking comment in Linux. Uh, thank you so much for giving valuable time for us. Thank you so much. And anyone have any question?
Any question?
Yes, sir. This is Tushar.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a chance. Our presentation topic name is Explain Command in Unix Operating System, presented by me, Omid Bonik, and my group member name, Mainul Islam, presented by our
Okay,
Honorable,
you will get 10 minutes.
this sir, Honorable MD Qureshi Islam, sir. So, the commands we have to discuss are RMDIR, echo, grep, and df. So, but before discussing their commands, we need to know what is Linux command. A Linux command is a program or utility that runs on the command line. A command line is an interface that accepts lines of text and pushes them into a
for displaying the line of text and a string. This is one of the most basic command in Linux. So there are echo items. Slash a means alert character. B black space character. XCF. F means font fit character.
by the block number and which is was found. To find the disk block number by context, to use B command. Display only a count of.
This displays the amount point information for the file systems in the second column. Any question?
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our presentation, and thanks everyone for coming, and thank you, sir, for give our chance. This is team DQR64. This is Farhan.
And this is MD Mirajul Haq Miraj.
What is the abbreviation of team GQR?
It comes from a QR code actually. So
Means
D means dangerous quick responsive 64.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Who is dangerous? Mohammed Miraz.
Both
Both of
together.
them are dangerous.
Yes. And presented to our honorable teacher, MD Tariqul Islam, sir, lecturer, Department of CSE, University of Global Business. Okay, today we are going to share about Linux fundamental for cyber security. Think different, think Linux, and it's free. Okay, what is Linux? Do you know? Just like Windows and Mac OS, also Linux is an operating system. So now we are going to know about history of
And open source means you will customize by your own by yourself for your own purposes.
next. We can see lightweight and infrastructure.
Lightweight infrastructure means you don't need huge resources to use this operating system. You may use this operating system with minimum resources. Those are required for a very basic computer or basic system.
Next one is GUI. We know graphical user interface, and another one is E2E encryption.
That end-to-end encryption, its purpose of security actually. So Linux operating systems, they usually use end-to-end encryption with for the communication.
Okay. Next, in cybersecurity, if we want to learn or start cybersecurity, then this Kali Linux is mandatory or not?
No, actually, it's not mandatory. You may use any kind of Linux distribution for the cybersecurity purposes. There is no limitation. It depends on you which one you love or which one you are most comfortable with it.
Can we learn cybersecurity without Linux?
Yeah, it's possible without learning Linux. You can jump in cybersecurity. There is no issue. But you will face many problems. Like if you use Windows for learning cybersecurity, you will need to install all the tools manually. So it's very time consuming and very difficult because of all the tools are not compatible with Windows as well macOS. So you will if you run Linux and Linux distribution, then it will be helpful for you to learn cybersecurity easily and in a short time.
So, what are the basic of Kali Linux and must be needed before if we want started in cybersecurity? There we can see CLI command line interface. We know when uh, we can start cybersecurity, then command line is more important. Okay, files and directories, process management, user and group management, file permissions and ownership, networking and protocol, etc. So here you can see networks and protocols. It's more important because of its cybersecurity. So now we are ready to dive into cybersecurity. Okay, so let's dive in. What is cybersecurity?
Okay, cybersecurity is the process of technique that actually what meet with some core features with the security of information or data. The core features are like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If any system or any technique meet these three core what states, then it we can say it is a cybersecurity or cybersecurity system. Okay, so if we start learning cybersecurity, we need to we'll need to start with network scanning. So there are many tools for scanning networks like Nmap, Nikto, Wireshark, OpenBus, and many more. So we'll see a bit about Nmap today. Okay, so if you want to know about Nmap or how it works, so you may open terminal on your Linux system and type Nmap dash h or full from dash dash h dash dash help, or you presentation. Do you have any question?
Thank you everyone for your time, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, Farhan
If-
and Mira. Very good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is OP. Today we are here to give a presentation on Unix programming subject, and our topic is page fault. Here is my team members.
Hello everyone, me Gayatri Sarkar, University of Global Village, CFC department, and
This is me, Sumaya Binte Sohrab, CSC, 8th semester, University of Global Village.
Since I said my topic is page fault, all of you have made a question that what is page fault? Let me discuss about this. When a processor wants to access a page and that particular page is not present in main memory, then the page fault occurs.
it mainly occurs when any program fails to access the data or the code that is the address shape of the program, but that data is not currently located in the RAM of the system. So basically, when the page referred by the CPU is not found in the main memory, then the situation of term as page fault. Whenever any page fault occurs, then the required page has to be fetched from the secondary memory into the main memory.
So this is the diagram about handling page fault. A page fault occurs when we access a page that has been flagged as invalid. Then while translating the address across the page table. The paging hardware will notice that the incorrect bit is set, triggering a trap in the operating system. The trap is mostly caused by the operating system's failure to put the desired page into memory. Now my teammate Sadia Islam will explain the diagram in briefly.
Now we can see the whole diagram, and here we explain that steps to handle the page fault. There is a page, suppose there is a page M, CPU wants to load this page. Firstly, CPU refer page table, and we will find that included page M is question.
Next.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to all for being here, and especially thanks to our sir, Mr. Tariqul Islam, for arranging such a beautiful presentation today. So let's go on our topic. As you can see, our topic name is what is Linux kernel and how to shell and kernel interact with operating system. So here is our table of contents, and first I will discuss about kernel, and then I will go for shell, and finally I will address the problem of diagram, which is the how to shell and kernel interact with operating system. So let's back our topic. So today our topic is kernel. So now the question is, what is kernel? So kernel is basically the core and heart of the OS, and its function to manage the operation of the hardware and computer. A kernel basically acts as a bridge, and it connects software and a special user program which provides an interface to user to use the operating system service, and shall accept the human readable commands from the user and converts them into something which kernel can understand. Basically, shell is shell basically is the two types of shell. There are two types of shell. One is the command line shell, and two is the graphical shell. And command line shell, as you can see, there is a picture of command line shell, and graphical shell is where we use the windows in our computer. There's the graphical shell, and after that there is a diagram how to shell and kernel interact with the operating system.
All of my friends, good afternoon. Okay, today I am presenting a topic that is shell script, and why we use shell script. That's our topic. That me and my friend, my name is Divanodev Mitra, and my friend name is Piyal Khanatkar Piyat Joel. Okay, today we will present on this topic about shell script and why we need to use it.
Nice pictures.
Thank you, sir. Okay. You know what is shell script? At first, I should describe what is shell script. Yeah, you know, in Linux, okay, we use many commands same time. Okay, sometimes we face problem. We say we face that our vocabulary problem. That's why we write this time a word. Another time we mistake it. That's why we can save many commands that we use repeatedly. And that's in this time we can use in Linux, that is shell. By use the shell, we can describe.
Thank you, Dipanto, for your very nice introduction to the topic. So now I could make a lot of slides about how we can use shell and what is the use of it. But I rather choose to show you guys an example so that you guys can understand better. Okay. Sir, I will not waste your time, and sorry for. Okay, so actually, for my daily uses of my work life, I use Django framework. So roughly, I need 2-3 Django installations every day, right? And every time I need to run these commands and do this task to get running a Django project, right? So this task is something that we repeat every time. So what about, okay, let us say this is where we want to create our Django project, right? So first thing we have to do is like open our terminal. So we are opening our terminal, and for the very first time, because I am creating the bash file, right? So what I have to do, I can use any editor basically, but I am using Vim and giving our bash file a name. Let's say test.sh. So a bash file ends with the .sh extension. Okay, so I will not waste you guys time to like writing all the things, all the comments. So I am just pasting it. Okay, so these are all the commands that I need to get a Django project ready. Okay, so let me save it. I have saved it. So as you can see that a new bash file is created on this. Rather, next time when we try to create a Django project, we just can grab this bash file and run the commands, right? Okay. So now for running a bash command in Unix system, you have to give. So this is the use of bash or shell scripting, right? So let me ask Farhan that when you install Linux or Unix in your system and you go to YouTube, you see some videos like 21 things to do after you install Linux, 19 things to do after you install Linux, right? So the quick hack
command, and then when you work many things, you need use many commands. But when you need every day or repeatedly, you need this all commands together, then you use shell in one commands. Okay,
let's say you are a system administrator, right? So you need to run bunch of commands. Like if you do something like that, you will understand what does it take. So you can automate all those things. Yeah, only you write that thing once and run it every time you need it.
Is that what you call Unix shell?
Sorry?
Shell command? Is that what is Unix shell command?
initial.
I'm doing it.
Initial command. Is it initial?
Okay. So first thing you have to do is just create a bash file. You don't have to create the bash file. You can, as Deepando showed, you can create ZSH, CSS. You can say shell is the terminal and bash and other things are just a language to them, right? So you have to write them, and finally, if it is a SSH, it is a bash file, you run sh and a file name. It will run.
So basically, shell is a terminal.
Yeah, you can say.
Today our presentation topic is this directory structure of Unix OS. The Unix directory is a tree-like structure usually drawn as an inverted tree with at the top a single directory, the root from which subdirectories branch out. Each subdirectory in turn can be the origin of a set of subdirectories. Next, what is directory structure? The directory structure is the organization of files into a hierarchy of folders. It should be stable and scalable. It should not fundamentally change, only be added to. Computers have used the folder metaphor for decades as a way to help users keep track of where something can be found. Okay, thank you. Types of directory structure. There are have 5 types of directory structure. First of single level directory structure. I explain. Single level directory structure means one directory root and one user file means single level directory use. Can create directories under the root and directory and can also create the sub directories. Every user on root directory have two directory user as the directory structure allows directory of file many parents directories, so shared file the directories can be pointed by the other user directories who can access by share the file. Wait. Overview of directory structure. Overview directory structure of millions of files have the directory structure. Insert and searching. Searching means have any directory file have their windows, then we can search our directory list. Then creating if we need if we think need directory file, then we create the file. And deleting we think no longer have any file, then I will delete. Renaming when our same file need a same work, then we can define Unix system. The roots is Microsoft Windows and Unix holds the entry system and single top level of directory. Next, beans is the binary.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome to our presentation. Our team name is Elite and our team member name is my partner Saif Rimon 119010.
Bengali. Meaning
Obhijatto.
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 Obhijatto. Obhijatto.
And myself Sadia Mim 11901032 and we are presenting to Sir MD Tariqul Islam, lecturer, Department of CSE, University of Global Village. So here is the overview of our presentation. We will discuss about swapping, necessity of swapping in Unix OS, advantage and disadvantage of swapping, swapping in, swapping out with diagram. So what is swapping? Swapping in OS is one of those skills which fulfill the goal of maximum utilization of CPU and memory management by swapping in and swapping out processes. From the main memory, swap in removes the process from hard drive secondary memory and swap out removes the process from RAM main memory.
Necessity of swapping in Unix OS. The need for swapping addition with when the overall efficiency of operating system decreases. It is due to the amount of memory required by executing processes exceeding the available RAM space. It is technique used by the operating system to manage the memory of the system. Swapping moves less frequently used memory page from RAM to a hard disk. The process of the swap makes space for more frequently in case of a substantial swapping activity. Another advantage are it helps to create and use virtual memory. Swapping allows the CPU to perform multiple tasks simultaneously. Therefore, processes do not have to wait very long before that the execute. Swapping in. Swap in, the method of removing a process from secondary memory hard drive and restoring it to the main memory RAM for execution is known as the swap in method. And swap out, it is a method of bringing out a process from the main memory RAM and sending it to the secondary memory hard drive so that the processes with higher priority or more memory consumption will be executed is known as the swap out method. Here there swap in and out diagram. Anyone have any question? Thank you.